This car's suspension feels terrible, and honestly, I can't blame it. It's almost 60 years old. It's got torsion bar front suspension, which usually you only find on trucks. And the steering box is just as bad. I mean, this isn't a rack and pinion. This is old technology. It's there, but it's more of a suggestion as to where you're going. But today we're gonna fix all of that. We have some brand new parts from QA1 that we're gonna be throwing into the front of this thing. We've got a whole new K-member, we've got coilovers, so we're getting rid of those torsion bars and having some modern technology in this thing. We're also going to be upgrading to some bigger brakes and some better, newer brakes. Now this is gonna be a very involved process, and I'm gonna take you through the entire thing. We're gonna get into the weeds with this car. We're gonna have to take everything suspension-wise out of the front of it. We're gonna have to remove those torsion bars, and hopefully at the end, I'm gonna be able to show you some real-world benefits to this whole suspension system. But before we get started with the new stuff, I gotta get all of the old suspension out. So let's get started with that. It's going to be god-awful, it's gross, it's old. Hopefully it comes out all fine, but we'll see how it goes. So now that we got the car raised, we're going to start with a couple of things in the engine bay. There should only be a few things that we'll need to do. We're going to start with taking care of the shocks. We're going to have to get those removed just from up top for now. And then we're also going to have to get into there to get the steering column uncoupled from the K-member. So let's get started on that.
A few inches later.
So we got those top nuts off of the shocks here, and then we also took the roll pin out of the steering column, so that should be ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is hit these torsion bar adjusters right here. We're going to loosen them all the way out just to relieve all the pressure on the torsion bar, and then we're going to try and pop that thing out the back. Boy, I forgot how much of a pain this is. Oh my gosh. I am so glad I'm not gonna have to deal with this again. Oh, this is already killing my arms. We just started. This is the most disgusting piece I have pulled off of this car today. Look how disgusting that is. I don't even know where this grease came from. It's probably from the factory, to be honest. Look at all of that. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh, my hair's fantastic now. We got one side out. We just got to get the other side now. I started loosening up the control arm because that's next. We just got to loosen the other side for the torsion bar, pop that thing back out, and then we should be able to keep going. That was way more involved than I was expecting and wanting, but hopefully this is going to be the worst of it. I'll probably eat those words later. Here we go, on to the next side. I won't bore you guys with that side. That got out of hand very quickly. All right, let me get this put up and I'll show you exactly what happened. Oh God. Yeah. All right, so that torsion bar was very stuck. It was not greasy like the other one. It had nothing on it and it just would not come out. So I started taking more stuff off. Well, as you can see, nothing is in here anymore. I started going piece by piece, seeing if I could loosen it up, and it didn't work. So I ended up disconnecting upper control arm, lower control arm, tie rods, strut bar, sway bar, all of the fancy stuff in here. And finally, I beat the piss out of it enough to get it out. Now, it all came out in one piece, and then I had to separate the torsion bar from the lower control arm, and then I could get it all out. But while we're here, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to just go ahead and do this to the other side. It's the exact same thing. You just got to take off camber bolt there, that's for the upper. And then I could not get the tie rods to separate, so I just loosened them out all the way. Don't matter anymore because we got completely new ones coming in. So loosen that out, loosen the dynamic strut, something like that. I don't know. There's so many weird names for these things. And then sway bar, took all that out, and then right there, that is where the front pin goes on the lower control arm. So that just slides out after you take all that stuff out. There is a nut on the other side, and then just slide it all back. And then I just cut the brake hose because we got new brake hoses coming anyways too. I'm already tired. We're, I don't know, an hour or two into this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the other side done. I think since that stuff is all lubed up, it should be easy to do. These are bump stops. So you got for the upper control arm and the lower control arm right here. We have to take those out. Now I'm not sure yet if I want to drill them out. I don't even see, oh yeah, there's some spot welds right there. So maybe I can just drill out those spot welds. Not too sure. I really don't want to mess with the rigidity of this. I might just try and cut them off because, as you can see, we got a little bit of rust on the frame. Not poking through, but a little bit, just enough to make me a little concerned about it. So we'll try and get that figured out. But I will take off the other side and then I'll get back with you. Completely free now. Sweet. Okay, so now all I have to do, ideally, is get the shock out from up here, which you can't see. Pull this upper control arm. There you go. Pull the upper control arm out, and then hopefully everything should slide back and out of the way. Hopefully. We'll see how that goes. So here is the current situation. I am fighting and fighting to get this suspension off on the left side here, and I cannot get a single upper control arm bolt out. That one right there. I have tried everything so far. I've been knocking it from this side. I've been trying to pry from this side. I think what's going on is that bushing in there is holding it kind of seized. So I'm just gonna keep fighting with this thing. Eventually it's gotta come free. So I'm gonna probably try and get the rest of the suspension out, like the brakes, the lower control arm, just to free it up, maybe get some weight off of that, see if that helps. But for the time being, this is just gonna be a fight. So yeah, I keep eating my own words when I say hopefully that's the end of it. It's never the end of it. It's always something else. So yay. All right, we have made minuscule, but some progress. Let me show you what's going on. All we have left now is this bushing. I fought and fought to get this dang control arm out, and I ended up having to cut it with a Dremel and bending the hell out of it to get it free, but now we are just left with that. I have tried and tried to beat the piss out of that, and I have tried to beat the piss out of this to the point where I can no longer use the wrench on it, but nothing yet. So what's going on is the bolt is right in there, and it is just rusted, I'm assuming, shut. In typical fashion, I ran out of cutting wheels for my Dremels, so I will see if I can get this done without. I have doubts, but this, I should be done by now, but I'm stuck on this, so yay! Oh, let's go! Woo! Oh, thank God. This is not a very flattering angle of me, is it? Trust me, I don't like this either. All right, let me show you what's going on. So yet again, a new day brings a new set of problems, and I was drilling out the bump stops, and I'll just show you what happened. So I kind of went a little too far and went into the frame rail itself. Hopefully that's not too big of a deal. I don't think so, because I mean, you got holes all throughout this thing anyways, so I think it's gonna be fine. There's nothing really I can do at this point, so. Okay, we are basically on to one of the last steps before lowering the old stuff and putting the new in. So I've got to cap off the power steering lines. Then I have to make sure that the steering column is disconnected. Then I'm going to make sure that the engine mounts are disconnected from the K-member, and then I'm going to lift the engine and start cranking on these bolts. These 4 bolts that hold the K-member to the body of the car, they're torqued at I think 150 foot-pounds, so that's going to require a lot of muscle, so I'm going to get my workout in for the day for sure. All right, let's do this. Now it's a little hard to see, but right in there is the part of the engine mount that holds it to the K-member. That is probably the easiest one to get to. That's going to be real fun trying to get up to those at the very top. There we go. You can just barely see it right there. But I think with that new K-member, it's going to be a little bit easier to get underneath stuff. I mean, this whole big metal piece right here is the K-member that's coming out. So I think once we get this tubular one in there, we're gonna have a lot more room and gonna be able to get into it no problem. All right. You know, this was a completely clean garage because we just moved in here like a month ago, and I have absolutely destroyed it. I'm thinking we might need to do a video on cleaning this thing up and making it look nice. I mean, look, like, you got patches in the wall that are just god-awful. You got this, it's not even a workbench, it's just like a little station. I mean, I'm using it for storage now, but it does not look very good. So I'm thinking we might need to, you know, spruce this place up a little bit, make it look a little bit better. So if that's something you are interested in, drop a comment, let me know. So here is where we're currently at. My camera ran out of storage last night, so you saw most of what I did. I finally got the QA1 subframe into the car. I need to tighten it down, torque it to spec, and then I still need to drop the engine on the new engine mounts. So that's the goal for today. This has been just an ongoing, oh God, it's getting worse and worse, and I'm missing more and more, and I just got to get stuff done, and it's just being such a pain in my ass. We're on the home stretch. We've got the new stuff starting to go in. We're almost there, so I just can't wait for this to be done. So now we've got the 4 giant bolts that we just took out. We're going to retighten them, torque them to 150 foot-pounds, and then, as you can see, that's the new mount for the engine. So I got to get the old one off, put those on, and then set the engine down onto those mounts, and we should be good for the day, hopefully. A good thing that I got me a new one of these, because my last one, I found out, is completely broken. So got this one, and this maxes out 150 foot-pounds. So should be just good enough to work. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, buddy! Wait!
They're basically already, oh wow, that's very bright. They're basically already there, so let's get to the other side. The two on the driver's side were the ones that I was worried about the most, so if those ones are good, I'm assuming, yeah, these ones are fine as well. All right, look at that. All right, easy enough. Didn't even need to do that. Okay, let's get this engine lowered back down. It's been a couple of days since the engine's actually been on the car. Like, it's just been sitting on the jack stand, so it's a big relief to have it actually on the engine mounts in the car again. So now we should be smooth sailing, just putting in the new stuff. I have already kind of pre-assembled a little bit of the new control arms and all that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But really, it's nothing too complicated, and the instructions for this have detailed everything out so much. Like, I could use it solely to put this together, which, coming from a background that kind of deals with all that stuff, it's actually kind of rare that you find something that's this detailed, this in-depth. So hats off to QA1. You guys did a really good job doing this instruction manual, but I'm so excited to finally get this stuff all put together, so let's get to it. All right, let me show you something real quick. So we've got these bushings in here now, got everything kind of set in place. It's not completely tightened down yet because obviously we're gonna have to mess with it a little bit, but what I do wanna tighten down are these jam nuts right here. So that's gonna keep this upper control arm from moving in and out at all. It's gonna take away some of the rattling, I should say. So we'll do that real quick, and then we'll get on to the lowers. You know, I've done a lot to this car, and that means I've had to deal with a lot of kits. And this honestly is one of the best kits that I've had to deal with. Like, this is so well put together. There's no guessing. There's no, ooh, this kind of fits weird. No, this is all just so good. It fits together so well. I have so much confidence that this is going to work. But there's not really going to be a worry, at least in my eyes, as a shakedown run to make sure everything's fine. Oh, is anything going to break? This feels so solid. And like I said, the instructions detail this very well, but I'm just putting these to 50 foot-pounds is what this calls for. Look at that. A little tight. Assuming that's how it's supposed to be, though, because it's got those poly bushings in it. Yeah, look at that. It's holding up just fine. It'll be okay. This looks so much better than what we used to be on here. I don't care if it drives like crap or rides like crap. All of the existing suspension was just so god-awful looking and all that this alone, the curb appeal of it, is so good. And this black powder coating, that's just going to hold up so much better than just that stamped steel. Like, look at it. Come on. Look at that. You can't tell me this doesn't look so much better than this stamped steel piece of crap here. So happy with this. Once again, already got it pre-assembled, so the spring itself comes detached from your actual shock. So I went ahead and put all this stuff on. This has a locking collar down here and a roller thrust bearing, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Down here. So when we install this, we're going to want to make sure that the adjustment knob is sitting towards the outside of the car. That way you can reach your hand around and twist it from that side. All right, so we've got this spot up here. It's going to connect to K-member up top, and then bottom with these, what are they, 3/8 volts, I believe, is going to connect down to the lower control arm. There are two spots right down here. So I'm going to start with the top part, and then we're going to do the lower control arm. Okay, just took a quick look at the instructions, and it is 50 foot-pounds for this top one. We're going to be doing 30 foot-pounds for the torque spec down below. So let's just take a look at this real quick. So we've got the adjustment knob down here. That is going to adjust how much the shock rebounds and compresses. And then right above it, This is going to be basically your ride height adjustment. And unlike a lot of the other coilovers that usually have a locking ring, this just has a little set screw on it. Why they did it with this kit, I have no idea. It's not like it's the end of the world. The little Allen screw is going to hold it just fine. It's just interesting. I don't know. There must be a reason as to why not with this one, but either way, it'll be okay. Last piece to the puzzle for the QA1 on this side is going to be the spindle. Now, this is a Mustang 2 spindle, so you can find damn near any type of brake kit for this. This is going to be such a huge upgrade over the original stuff. Like I said, the original spindle that was on there, you really can only get like, 78 A-body disc brakes, which are just severely lacking. So this is going to allow us to put whatever we want on here. It's going to help so much, especially when I'm at the track. So let's get this installed. Now, one thing to note, you are going to have a space right here just above the upper control arm fitting. That is normal. That's just how they have them. I believe they say it's for added camber gain. So this is going to be okay. We can continue. Okay, time to get this fully tightened down. Once again, 55 foot-pounds. And then you gotta tighten it to the actual cotter pin opening. Almost there. That should be it. There it is. All right. Okay. We'll get these cotter pins on real quick, and then we will be ready to go to the other side. So just for the sake of time, I went ahead and did a couple of things off camera just to button up the front end, get it closer to being ready for brakes. So I'll show you what I did right now. One of the major things that needed done was I had to add a larger oil pan to it. So I went ahead and slapped that thing on there, and that is because, as you can kind of tell, oh boy, camera's being weird. So as you can see, there's not much room in there for that Fox body rack and pinion steering. So I had to switch from the front sump to a mid sump oil pan, and it just happened to be that it was a bigger oil pan. It's not going to be any different. It's just got a little bit better cooling, more oil for it. But that wasn't the main reason why I got it. I needed to fit that rack and pinion steering in there, so I went with that mid sump pan. And obviously I got all of that rack and pinion steering in place, got it connected to the control arms. I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting everything aligned kind of half decent right now. I probably just need to shorten up this tie rod end here, which the instructions say is a possibility, so not too worried about that. So one of the last things that I have to do now is get the steering column connected to that rack and pinion. So what we have to do is eventually take out the steering column, cut it, weld on a U-joint, and then put everything back into place and get everything all hooked up. I don't have the proper welder for this, so what I'm thinking is I'm gonna get all the measurements, cut, get it tacked in place with the buzz box that I've got, and then I'm just gonna take it to a shop and see if they can just weld it for me. Now I know I have some remnants of a column shifter in there. I think I have to take that out before I can fully remove the steering column, but that's not a big deal because now we have no torsion bars in the way, so I should be able to stick my hands up in there no problem. So let's get to it. I got it. I finally got it. Look at this. Oh, wait. Look at that. Right. Ooh. There we go. Ooh. I hit the hood. There we go. Now you can see it. Yeah, I got that completely welded. I took it to a local shop here in Omaha and had them just zip around that real quick. So all welded in place. I've got the little steering connector, I guess you call it. It's just a piece of flat bar. I've got that welded in place, or not welded in place. I got it cut to the exact length I need. So good to go. I'm ready to throw this thing in back for the final time. So what we're going to do now is tighten a couple of the Allen keys, grub screws, whatever you want to call them. We've got one right here on the steering column coupler. And then on the bottom where it connects to the steering rack itself, there's three. Two for the steering shaft, and then one where it couples to the actual rack and pinion. So we're going to try and get those right now. This thing is so dirty. It's been in here so long. Even the white is all dusty. I got a handprint right there. It's been over a month since I started this project, and I finally have the finishing touch to it. And that's gonna be some Baer brakes. I got these to go all the way around the car, not just the front, but also the rear. These are gonna be 4-piston brakes all the way around. I am so excited to get these things on. Now this is gonna be their SS4 Plus kit. These are 11-inch discs, and that's just because I wanted to go with something that would still fit my 15-inch wheels. You can get larger ones, but since I wanted something a little bit smaller to fit inside those wheels, this is all I could do. But that doesn't mean these are gonna be bad. No, this is gonna be a huge upgrade. Even to those disc brakes that I had in the beginning, these are gonna perform so much better. Now I made a goof myself. When I took these brakes off, the original ones, I just cut the hose because I was thinking that this kit was gonna come with some. I messed up, I was incorrect, and so I gotta get some new hoses. But honestly, that's not a bad thing because I had rubber hoses before, so I'm gonna upgrade those as well with some stainless hoses. But I don't need those to get the rest of this stuff on, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. And hopefully by the end of the day, I can finally set the car back on the ground. It's been so long since that's happened. So here goes nothing. First things first, gotta get the bracket on for him. Doesn't that look so good? All right. I just put the disc on to help me with moving it back and forth. It's got to come back off, I believe. And then we put that's going to come back off if I remember right, so we can get the caliper on there. So go ahead and undo this. I was, in fact, wrong. This is actually what I need to do. So back on they go. Now, from what I can tell, the calipers are not side specific. So I think I can just go ahead and slide these babies in. And what we're going to check for first is if they are actually sitting where they need to be. In that they're sitting on the disc themselves correctly. So as you can see, I've got the caliper mounted, but what we are looking for is how equidistant the rotor is from each side. So as you can kind of tell, the rotor is closer to the outboard side of the caliper than the inside. So what we have to do is put some spacers back here. Now don't worry, the spacers do come with the kit, so that's not a big deal. You can just throw these on. They just go in between the caliper and the bracket itself. So I'm gonna do that now and get this thing set up and then get to the next side. So I apologize for how the rest of this video ended. Unfortunately, I was in such a rush to get to this Tuner Evo show that I couldn't really record what I wanted. Now that being said, my first test drive was going to this show, and overall I was extremely surprised with how well the car performed. I didn't even get time to take it to an actual shop to get aligned, so I did an alignment in the garage myself, and it actually turned out pretty well. I'm not even pulling as I go down the road. But like I said, I am so happy with how the car turned out. I can't wait to get the rear disc brakes on this car as well because the fronts did so well compared to the old stuff. So that is going to be in another video that I'm going to get done quickly. So that's it. That is the install of this QA1 front coilover suspension system as well as these Baer disc brakes. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys have some input for me because I'm always willing to learn. I want to know what I can do better with this car, and let me know what you guys want to see next. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video.